Okay, you only get four. They got to be American. Who is on your Mount Rushmore of wrestling?
Got to be American, huh?
Got to be American. By the way, that's the distinction that every single Edge kid says. Wait, they got to be
Yeah.
American?
Yeah. I
Because
mean, Arsen Fitzayev I'm just going to throw him out. Obviously not American, but I've modeled a lot of my career and um, around Arsen Fitzayev. So uh, American, I think Um, Lee Kemp, I think, is a pretty special guy, and four-time finalist. Kind of was a coach's decision away from being four-time national champ, or an official's decision away, which without getting there's some political things there that I think play a role
we can call it
potentially.
political if you want.
Um,
Some cultural things, but
so
okay.
yeah, first three-time world champ, kind of a pioneer. I think until like maybe Cejudo, he was probably the youngest world champ or Olympic
Yes.
champ that we
Mhm,
had, I
mhm.
believe. So Lee Kemp is one that's always stuck out, and having gone to Wisconsin. I tried to name one of my sons Kemp. My wife wasn't as crazy about it, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think he should be up there. He should be in the conversation. Uh, I mean, I think you got to put Dave Schultz. I mean, Dave Schultz, I think he transcended the sport. Like forget about what he did as an athlete. He made an impact, and that's a big deal. He made an impact. Um, so Dave Schultz for sure. I hate to give more credit than people deserve, but like, Cael Sanderson is, I forget, like again, like his athletic career is something that might never be touched again, right? But I think I look at you're starting to see more of the whole body of work now, and you
Mhm.
throw in what he's done as a coach, I think is really a big deal. Um,
Yeah,
so I think Cael Sanderson, what's that, three?
that's three.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's I think, to me, Ernie Monaco is a guy,
There you go.
and that's
There
like,
you
that's a name I threw out for my son, which actually did stick, is Monaco. So I named my son after him, and he's a special guy, and he's a builder of men. I talked earlier about, you know, builders and finishers, and the guy's a builder. And when you look at the product of human that he's created, it's not matched. And I think it's a lot of where my philosophy for wrestling comes, and building the foundation is he played the long con with everybody. He certainly had a good eye and great technique and everything. But the funny thing is, when I sit in a room and I got, Zach Esposito and Matt Valenti and uh, Glenn Pritzlaff and whoever, Mike Gray, it doesn't matter. Like, you look at all these, everyone's kind of a high achiever. Um, and whether they were different styles of wrestling doesn't matter, because we're all wired the same way. And sometimes success doesn't necessarily follow that. But man, I'll tell you, if I were to sit down and talk with Steve Mako or Kurt Backus or Corey Cooperman, or who, like the list of Edge kind of alumni, I guess you could call them, the common trait in all of us is kind of how we're wired mentally, how we deal, like the perseverance, the how we deal with setbacks, and the resiliency. So many things that, like, the guy is a molder of men that this sport doesn't have enough of. So to me, maybe people don't know him, but to me, he's definitely on there as well.
He absolutely should be. And you want to just talk about impact, just pure impact on the sport. He has left a crater around New Jersey that will not ever be matched because it's too big of a hole. It's really impressive the amount of impact he's had on this sport.